All right, let's talk about a creature that sounds like it's straight out of a legend. The Chinese giant salamander. I mean, this thing is the world's largest amphibian. It's this incredible, gentle giant living a super hidden life in the rivers of China. So, let's pull back the curtain and see what it's all about. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to meet this giant salamander and get a feel for just how big it is. Then we'll check out how it's built for the water, how it senses the world around it through vibrations, how it hunts like a total pro, and we'll finish up with a look at its family life. It's going to be great. All right, first up, let's meet this river giant. You know, when we say giant, what does that actually mean? We're going to look at its size and a really fascinating nickname it's earned. So get this. It can grow up to 5.9 feet long. To really picture that, imagine a tall person lying down. That's how long this salamander can get. For an amphibian, that is just unbelievably huge. And it's not just about the length either. These things are heavy. We're talking up to 110 pounds. That's 50 kilograms. So yeah, when you combine that length and that weight, it's easy to see why it's one of the heaviest amphibians on the planet, for sure. But honestly, one of the most surprising things about it is its nickname. In Chinese, it's called Wawa Yu, and that translates to infant fish. Now, it's not because it looks like a baby. No, it's because when it gets distressed, the sound it makes is uncannily like a baby crying. How wild is that? Okay, its size is impressive, no doubt, but its body is also perfectly designed for living underwater. And how it breathes? Well, that's where things get really fascinating. So this raises a really interesting question, right? It spends its entire life underwater. Now, the young ones, the larvae, they have gills. But the adults? Nope. So how in the world do they breathe down there? The answer is a wild ability called cutaneous respiration. Basically, it breathes through its skin. It can pull oxygen right out of the water directly through its skin. It's an amazing trick. And when you look at it, its whole body is built for this. See, its skin has all these wrinkles and folds, which creates way more surface area to grab oxygen. Its body is kind of flattened too, which helps it have as much contact with the water as possible. And it all makes sense, because they live in these cool, fast-flowing streams that are packed with the oxygen they need. But its skin isn't just for breathing. It's also an incredible tool for camouflage. That mottled mix of dark brown, green, or black, it lets this giant just vanish. It blends in perfectly with the rocky river bottom, a true master of disguise. So if it's hiding all the time and it's mostly active at night, you have to wonder, how does it get around? How does it see its world in the dark? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's not with its eyes. Yeah, its eyes are tiny. They don't even have lids, so its eyesight is pretty terrible. But where it really shines is its sense of, well, vibration. It has this line of special sensory nodes running all the way down its body from head to tail. And these little nodes are like a superpower. They are so sensitive, they can pick up the tiniest movements in the water. It's almost like it can feel a picture of everything around it. That's how it finds food, avoids bumping into things, and knows when other animals are close. So with a sensory system like that, you can bet it's a pretty effective hunter. So what's on the menu for a giant salamander? Let's talk about its diet and its incredibly cool and fast hunting method. Well, being a carnivore, it's not too picky. Pretty much anything that can fit into its big mouth is on the table. We're talking fish, crabs, crayfish, frogs, shrimp, even worms, insects, and snails. It's a key predator in its underwater neighborhood. So how does it catch all that stuff? It's a classic ambush predator. It will just lie there, perfectly still, waiting. And when something gets close enough, bam. It uses something called buccal suction. It snaps its mouth open so fast that it creates a powerful vacuum, and whatever is in front of it gets sucked right in, water and all. It's over in a split second. Blink and you'll miss it. But it's not all about being a powerful hunter. This gentle giant has a softer side too. Its family life is really something special, and it turns out the dads are incredibly dedicated. So it all starts in late summer. The male goes out and finds the perfect underwater cave, a den. And he doesn't just find it, he preps it. He's like a little construction worker, pushing sand and gravel out to get it all clean and ready for a family.
When a female likes the den he's prepared, they start their courtship, and it's really gentle. They might just hang out in the den together or lie side by side. Sometimes they even give each other these little gentle belly bumps. For such a huge animal, it's a very sweet, quiet ritual.
And after that, the female lays her eggs. And it's not just a few. She lays this long string of them, sometimes with hundreds of eggs, maybe even over 500. She leaves them all safe and sound right there in the den that the male works so hard on. And this is where the dad's job really kicks into high gear. The female leaves and he takes over completely. He becomes the guardian of the den, protecting those eggs from anything that might want to eat them. He even uses his tail to fan the eggs, keeping the water fresh and full of oxygen. And he does this day in and day out for 40 to 60 days, right up until they hatch. What a dad! So, the Chinese giant salamander. What an incredible animal, right? A living example of the amazing things hidden just under the surface of the water. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What other amazing secrets about the animal world are out there, just waiting for us in quiet rivers and streams all over the globe?